Alright, so what I'm going to do here is explain how the ZVZ hatch proxy works and how the build is. So let's look at it right now. On my side, getting a few drones. And then you send one out. I was gonna make it as a pull, but I forgot I gotta go send it out just in case. So what I'm doing right here is after I make the 2 drones, I send one out and another to make a pull. After that, I'm just droning and making sure I get my overlord before I hit like this mark. I don't know how everybody does it, but the way I do it in regards to getting 3 larvas is as long as there's like a certain area right here that I don't cross. So I make drones until like a certain point right here, and then I stop. Like the last larva would be right here, and then from there, I should have three larvas, right? Because if not, you're not doing it as quick, right? You're not gonna be there as quick. But yeah. Now I looked at that, I was like, oh, I got 3 already. Let me make 1, and then 1 will pop out because I'm trying to maximize it at the same time. So now over here, the drone that you sent out the first time, you're looking for the hatchery. If it's a hatchery first, you could do the build. If it's not a hatchery first, then of course you get your gas. They're gonna be a little later, but you get your gas, you get your bailing ling follow up if you know, or just sling speed, or just get a hatchery. But it's gonna be some lings coming at your way, so you'll get some lings, maybe some spines, and get your gas for the bailing to bailing battle or roach switch. I don't know. So usually that's a possibility. So you don't commit your move until you see the hatchery. Once you see the hatchery, which is why you send it, now you can do it. It's like, okay, cool, go and hatch first. So I pull my my drone out. Normally I'll go and scout if I see the overlord around it, but if I don't see the overlord, I'll move it aside. And then so what I do is I get the gas extractor, and as the extractor is being made, you could actually clump your drones. I do it by right-clicking the what is it? Yeah, right-clicking the mineral, and then right-clicking the gas, and right-clicking again. You kind of want to do it where they look sharp. So I go back. There goes the gas. Now, when I do grab them and put them to the first set, you know, to clump them up, what I do is I grab 4, I click them to the gas, and I hit the C button. So the C button for me is, if you have standard hotkeys, it's for return cargo. So it just allows you to maximize and look identical without having like too much mineral shine. So yeah, that's why I hit the C button, return to cargo. So I right click, hit the C button, I return it, and then I right click on this mineral again. Right, so that's gonna even everything out now that everybody's lined up more or less. When I right click it to this gas, I should be able to even up. Now I go for 4 drones. in this build. I've done it in different variations, but 4 drones is the way I do it. Then I cancel the gas. You can keep the gas if you want to start mining it, but me personally, I'm going over with the situation where I have to spend hatchery and possibly 400 resources extra. So I can't just spend it recklessly, right? So I want to maximize the drones as well. That's going to produce more mining instead of just turn into a gas extractor. So then this one right here, he waits. If he doesn't wait, he's just kind of looking around the base. And so right here, I make the hatchery. Now regarding the four drones, right? The reason why we want to do this instead of just going over there gung-ho is because you have this situation right here. You have the situation in some games where the overlord is going that way, and you don't want to look suspicious. I mean, slightly, you know, when they see a red dot, they look at, okay, it's a drone. You know, but if you see 4 drones running around the map, you're like, whoa, 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 what's going on here? What's going on? So yeah, you got like 4 drones in a little conga line, little centipede running your way. Yeah, you're panicking, or you're like, oh no, I gotta get this. But 1 drone's like, oh well, what can you do? You know. And now the lings. You're like, oh okay, he's got lings. So I get the lings right away. And then the next objective here, after you send a decent wave, I don't send too many. I only send enough to hold this area. So I only get like a set of lings. I should only go with maybe even just this, but sometimes even just this is barely not enough. So I always go with a little bit more. But then after that, I start droning up because I want to start getting up to the normal saturation, because you know we're already facing a Zerg that's 16 workers on mineral line and 3 on gas, so we gotta catch up. But for the meantime, we're gonna be creating some funky situation. Now here the hatchery is doing a couple things. We're getting ready to make the spine crawlers, and if the drones come down with any little bit of lings, like there'll be a few lings that it will go with, my lings will be trying to just make sure that they're distracting most of them or killing the drones. So I usually go up the ramp with lings, right? Because most of the time they're getting spine crawlers up here, or they're trying to figure out. They think that you're gonna go up the ramp. Like they think, oh, you're gonna go up my ramp. I gotta make sure I deny you getting up. Micro. Alright, so right here, once you feel like you controlled it, at least for a little bit, you can cancel 1 of the drones. You don't have to get all 4. 3 is enough. You don't want to like overdo it, because you still want to drone up. Your objective is to get drones and gas now. So we're going to take this drone, and we're going to send this drone up to the high ground for another base. Potentially a little bit later. Not right now, but definitely later. Now, the biggest objective is make sure we're just saturating this base as fast as we can, because the next thing is getting roaches. We want to get roaches real quick. Now, for the meantime, this is going to distract your opponent. And if you are worried about the Nidus rush, that's what this drone's supposed to do. This drone's supposed to go over here, make a hatchery, and be able to counter. But most of the time I get spine crawlers, roaches, and try to like hold off the Nidus rush. It varies. Since I'm new with Zerg, my macro normally is not so good in the beginning. So that's why I've been focusing on macro in these newer build, updates of the build. I've been adding more workers. So right here, right? We have the hatchery and then the spine crawlers and the hatchery, right? So this hatchery right here, it serves a few purposes. The hatchery first, it serves a wall. It keeps the lings and the drones from getting in to this little area or this area, so they're gonna have to go through the front. Now, if you want to be very cheesy, you get a spore here, and then the spine crawlers right here. Cannon, Protoss in disguise. So yeah, if you want to do that, then you cancel and make a spine crawler once everything's good, because they take forever to kill if it's a spore. And they don't check sometimes. They're just attack. Yeah, so the hatchery does that. The other thing it does is eventually it comes up and you kill the hatchery. Right? Now then you're stuck with this. If your hatchery wasn't here and you just went for like if you canceled your hatchery once everything was good, you're gonna be left with spine crawlers, pretty much bleeding to death because the creep is gonna go down. Now you could try to cancel the hatchery and try to mine and drone a lot quicker. You're just not gonna add any extra to it. But maybe you can mine drone out of it. But the one thing about this is the hatchery keeps the creep alive, and the creep keeps the spine crawlers alive. And then I get a queen with that hatchery, so that I can poop on the base. So then I come over here and poop. Now usually I go over and make another creep, but yeah, I didn't want to get caught. I didn't want him to think too much right there. So yeah. So notice I'm getting 2 gases, getting full saturation, getting my roach warren, trying to make sure everything goes over there. Now over here on this side, the other thing with this hatchery is that the hatchery is there for overlords. So you just keep popping overlords right here. So what you're doing is everything should be coming over here. That's gonna be your larva for drones, and then after that, your injects for the roaches. So you can get just a bunch of roaches. Over here, because you don't want to make too much, you make the overlords, because the overlords don't die too quickly when you have a siege area. So that's what this hatchery is for as well, and for supply. It gives you a little bit of supply, so you don't have to get an earlier overlord when you get the hatchery. So you get that as well. You get an overlord supply potential because you got it early. So you don't have to get an overlord right away at a certain point. You made a wall creep to saturate to feed the spine crawlers, then to produce a queen to get the creep tumor, and then the overlords out of the larva that's coming out of this hatchery. And so as you can see, we have 1 hatchery for our Zerg player, right? And has to do all the injects and all the larvae, all from 1 potential. You know, you can't, you maximize it. There's only so much you could do. Whereas I'm using mine just like he is, but this is giving me that little bit of extra, you know, that little difference that allows you to get just a few more things than he, because like the more overlords I can get here, the more drones I could use over here, and the more roaches I could use over here, as long as I can kind of just use it for the meantime. Because if not, I mean, that's pretty much dead at this point, but it's serving a purpose. See how I'm getting roaches as well. Now I'm not gonna go part of the battle. I'm not gonna attack. I'm not gonna go attack the battle. I'm just gonna use it, hit and run. I'm just gonna get the larva and go. Get the larva and go. I'm gonna just take it from this. Getting my overlords from here. Yeah, just we have 2 hatcheries. He's on 1. 2 overlords again. He's finally breaking out. Lost a roach, few units. Didn't go out with the price, and oh, that's not good. Try to make a hatchery. Let's check it right there. Burp. Error. So can't make a hatchery. So this part right here, if he gave you time, you'd be able to creep tumor a few different locations. That way, if he does bile areas, he still has a check. Like if he biles a few areas, he still has to go and check if it's a hatchery can be made. And then it's like, oh shoot, no, pull back, bile again. Did I hit it? Let me go make check. Nope, I didn't hit it. Bile again. So it, the more you can hide at a certain point, the harder it gets from if they don't want to get a spore. Now here I'm getting a hatchery on the corner, and that's because I'm trying to do a distraction. So as an overlord, you see this, you're like, okay, well, the Zerg player just spine crawler rushed me, and the Zerg player is still on 1 base, so I gotta watch out for maybe a possible roach rush or something, or some type of cheesy little play that he's gonna do. So caution's gonna be on the blue side for a little bit. My larva stayed alive. There he goes. Okay, so finally, and he still doesn't have larvae from this hatchery, so hasn't benefited. And so far, I'm able to benefit from this new hatchery that's still ahead of him in this corner base. So I'm getting roaches from there too. So now I'm just getting a lot of roaches. We're just slowly, now that this whole thing was saturated, roach, everything, inject roach, and you know, more roaches and more overlords. Get your, of course, you're trying to go for that roach speed, and this is gonna allow you to at least deal with the Ling play or the Ling Bane play or the Ravager play, because they always try to do one or the other if they're not doing like a Nidus play. But because of the Nidus play, you want to do these, you want to get your saturated base quick, and you got to get roaches right away, right when you start getting everything saturated. You should already just keep getting roaches. Don't think about a second base yet. Just roaches and speed. And then if you want to go and make a base, you could right after you send your army to attack. Maybe take out a hatchery and pull back and regroup, or you know, chip off an army and then you know, just do a little damage. So right here I'm like, okay, so I sent these out. I do have a Nidus network. The Nidus network is gonna be potentially for my hatchery. So if I feel he's gonna come over to my base, I could actually go over here and just get him right over to my base without having the overlord spot where I'm going. Because if not, if the drones have to take off, the drones are gonna be like, hey, we're going this way. Oh, he's like, oh, where are you going? Where are all you guys going? So that's what the Nidus worm is. It's not to go attack them. It's literally just to get our drones to this side. Now the way I like to do it is I like to make 2 Nidus worms, one at home and one at the other side. Because if you can make 2 Nidus worms, it's going to be a silent Nidus worm. If you make a Night Swarm the regular way, it's gonna scream. It's gonna be like, I'm over here somewhere. Look at me in the map. You know, because eventually I'm like, well, if it wasn't for me, it's gonna be for some. Where did you do that Night Swarm? You know, they get suspicious. So if you make 2 Night Swarms, 1 on each side, it's a silent Night Swarm, and you can just pop out the drones, start droning up silently. You know, so pretty cool. That's what I like to do. I spotted that he was going for a third, very greedy. I was hoping to draw in an army, but nobody was coming, so I go, okay, well, let me go check what's going on. Noticed that there was a lot of spine crawlers. I was like, oh. So I always like doing the hold position. I don't like to like attack or attack individually, focus fire or anything. My biggest thing is hold position. I get to an area where all of them could reach something and hold position, they all shoot something. Then I move them again, hold position, they all shoot something. You know. Yeah, I don't do like the attack, you know, just attack move. Usually, I micro them. But it's gonna eliminate some of these drone roaches that normally can't hit the targets from, you know, from clumping up and looking like, oh, I don't know where, I can't get over there, I can't get over there, and they're not giving their damage. You want to maximize every moment that you could with your army, and you don't want like derping. You don't want your roaches derping. Oh, you know, you try to hit the hatchery and, you know, there's a little clog and your roaches are running around like, you know, just they don't have nothing to do. Yeah, that's why I like to hold position a lot. Yeah, you saw that little, the little dance right here. Right here. See this little wiggle? Yeah, you don't want that, right? The moment you hit hold position, all of a sudden, shoot, they all shoot something. But that's lost damage right there. That's potential damage you could be doing, but you're wiggling. You're just wasting time because of the hold position's not there. Then I hold position, and all of a sudden everybody's shooting, and things are dying. Oh, look at that. GG. Hopefully you guys liked the commentary. If you guys do, leave a comment. Maybe if you have a suggestion of which one you want me to do next, let me know. Relates.